We, the people of a post-freedom America, hate the fact that the facts of life are skewed by the biased, who don't sleep on a pillow of their success, but rather they cocoon themselves full of the attainment of us, whom bear slave labor to give them our bed of roses, only for them to piss on. Now it's a sad, sad world we're forced to live in and dream on, but the majority, the blinded like sheep to the slaughter, unable to know the difference between a bed and a coffin, are dead in the water. And since when did 8 hours a day become the American dream? As far as I can recall, it was the freedom that bore the meaning. But that's lost in the memories like smoke from a barrel. To serve and to protect is a motto no longer followed, yet we still wish to believe that what once was is tight in the mind's bottle. But if you want to get down to it, ask yourself this. Was it the chicken or the egg that came first? Who knows? Not this kid. You can't blame a portion of the population that got so fed up with the law that they became it to try to change it, but only made it worse by using the law to their advantage. And the human mind is a tricky thing and knowledge is power, but knowledge in the wrong minds can mean that everything is devoured. And power is only as limitless as the imagination in the depths of your pockets. Take the media, for instance, lying straight to your eye sockets. Every story you see isn't at all what it seems, but the more money in the system creates a better story than we need. It's a giant scheme. They leave the rest to your head because they know you don't know what to dream in your bed. Each station claiming to know the truth, only to be delivering the news before it's even happened, like they have no Ruth. Now it's useless to accuse those that have no clue, because ignorance is bliss and we've made it okay to be a fool. So smile, you're being brainwashed in every music video you see. To bring down the culture you love so much you'll bleed for it, but won't heed my warnings. Music made just to have a catchy beat with no meaning beneath except to leave you blinded through their teeth. So what are we to do when we're rejected by those meant to protect us, neglecting our rights for civil protest and justice? It's the greatest trick ever pulled in history. Get the people to think that they are free, but don't let them know that they are tied to a leash. America the beautiful? Well, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, and I'm sure the beauty is getting the cold shoulder. And land of the free is only seen in our dreams, and the home of the brave is a lie. We're the home of the slaves. So this is a call out, or you might say it's a foul out. My brain has exploded from the ignorant cop-outs. Let me put your perspective back together with my lyrical helter-skelter. If only we can weather the cards that life has dealt us. So don't be offended, be acceptive. Your offensive is deceptive. It's when we choose our battles that we become our best. So let your tongue digress and make sure with your emotions that anger's fire isn't in your chest. Because even though I'm sure there's kindling waiting deep inside, when you think about it, we all look the same before we're born and after we die. So why don't we try to end this view of only the outside? Open up your eyes and realize that for our entire lifetime, people have always been different from one another. This is not a new concept, but it is one that is put into practice less even though we preach it like a pastor's congregational address. Let's face it, the main religions of our country are set up in such a way that the beliefs of these religions are taught to not accept those of a different faith, thus causing the ideal of hatred towards others, even if that may not be the belief's intent. This ideology must dissolve. Open-mindedness turns into everlasting kindness. It's basic psychology. The first step is admittance, which coincides with the acceptance that will lead to the absence of our self-centered conditions. I'm just so sick of all the lies and unlawful intentions. Puppets disguised as politicians with eyes that are owned by another ascendant, seeing what he sees as if everything seen was already meant to be. But please, like a great wise man once said, everything we dream is but a dream within a dream. Everything we see is but a dream within a dream. So dive in with me and try to believe the words that slowly pop up on my screen. It's quite amazing to see how different things have been. It used to be paper that was everyone's need, but things are now not what they used to be. And technology is seemingly the most important thing in history, but at the same time, it's so devastating. We're blind to it because of the media mainstream. Download this app, share this tweet, forget that your feet are no longer free because you walk around in misery from all the things that would make you stand out in society. And even though there's no weight around your ankle, I know you can feel the chain of unthankful people making a beeline angle to get your mind entangled. With things like how they say it takes only 7 sins to kill what's under your skin, but really if it weren't for other men, then these sins would be without kin. Meaning that man alone would feel no consequence of his transgression if there is no one else to see his progression into the opposite of heaven. Now it's these neglected thought that keeps men unleavened. Yeah, we strive to be perfection, but really we're just disconnecting. We want to get a little lifted, but we're dropped harder like we're sifted. And I wish this could all get shifted into another entire dimension. America, we become so twisted into a knot that can't be assisted. I miss it, being ignorant to all that I've listed. Now the world is full of opposites, it's the only way to have balance, but it's when we start to forget these things that's when we all start fighting. It's simple and seen, we all know the world's means, but we're blinded because of our daily routine. So now we live in a mind warp. Confusions like brain contusions will have you in a psych ward minutes after I speak my last word before your big toe even gets out the back door. Your cerebellums have been the dance floor for my lyrical pandemonium to explore and report all of the conformism ignored by our own self-righteous inward appearance of our outward appearance that we only just bought in store for the sole sake of hiding our grievance and the belief that this sequence of clearance could exercise our visceral demons. Now it's this reason to give adherence to the incoherent, magnificent, maleficent, manipulatory, neglecting incompetence we call politicians. Why should we think anything different? It's the times like these that we live in that we need to prove our existence. And this is for those in our country's management. We paid our insurance, now we want our interest development. But you can't pay us with time, so your lives must be the settlement. Can't you see the trend? All the things you meant can't descend because of your lack of common simple sense. It's fucked up. Everyone knows the world's going to shit, but nobody wants to admit it. So say, can you see by political fright what they proudly proclaim in the dark of the evenings, whose broad rights were forgotten through the perilous fights, and the protesters we watched were arrested for nothing. The smoke bombs, grey flare, and tear gas in the air gave proof to the people that our freedom's not there. So say, does our right strangled banner yet wave? We are the land owned by evil and the home of the slaves. But we can change that.